What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the Fantasy on Tap podcast. I'm your host, Eric Sonnier, with my boy Blake Gambino here. What's happening, dude? How you feeling on this Wednesday night?
Oh, man. Ready to answer some trade questions for everybody out here. Don't forget about us.
Dude made a trade today. Fucking ring the bells, dude.
I won a trade, is what you mean. But
the jury's gonna be out on that, but we'll see. Before we get into it, make sure you become an all-access member of the Fantasy Six Pack to get access to the award-winning rankings, DFS projections, betting advice, and other league-winning content. The playoffs are coming; they're very soon. You also get access to us directly. So if you have any playoff questions, sign up, become a member. FantasySixPack.net/plans. Use the promo code F6PNFL to save 10% when you do it today. Like the video on this YouTube if that's what you're watching on, and hit that little bell so you can see us when we go live, and we can answer all your questions. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. We got like always, we got the Saints with another dub to get us to 5-4. I was at this game as well. The alcohol definitely helped. We didn't play great offense, and defense looked kind of sketchy at first. But hey, a win's a win, right? I mean, at this point, we're not very great, so a win's a win. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, watching that team is tough. I mean, to have 5 turnovers and to still, with like minutes left, be like, oh,
we gotta cut the kicker, dude. We need a new kicker. That's too terrible. He's so bad. It's like Dennis Allen doesn't like when he has a player that has mistakes, he just doesn't care. You know what I mean? He's like, "Oh, we believe in him," and he's like, "Bro, how many kicks does he have to miss before?" What if
I'm pretty sure Cade York is on he's on free agency, and that dude was money at LSU. He just didn't kick good at outside, but he's probably great in the dome. I bet we just signed Cade York. But yeah, I mean, Groupie hits a 55-yarder, and then he can't hit a 47-yarder
to put the game away.
Yeah, to put the game away. It was just one of those. Taysom Hill. We should have put Taysom Hill in we should make a new category. Just Taysom Hill go.
Might as well let Taysom Hill kick the ball. I mean, he probably could do that.
Yeah. Too. Honestly, did you see the backup running back for the Texans?
Yeah, I did see that.
When I saw that, I was just like, okay, Groupie, like this is. Dude, there's running backs that are hitting these kicks, dude.
And that's your one job, you know. I mean, Will Lutz. Why didn't we keep him at this point? I mean, he's only missed like 2 kicks this year.
And we wanted to trade him to get a 6th-round pick from the Broncos, or whatever they were doing. So
shade him to Sean. But we got the Vikings this week with no Kirk Cousins and no Jettas. So our schedule is favorable. We can still make the playoffs, and we can actually make a run at it. It's gonna be hard to come into the dome and beat us, especially when it's loud like that against the Bears with Tyson Baggins starting. So
2 weeks ago. Or no, we still have 9 games left. So I remember there was at one point in our first couple episodes, I was saying we have a 7-game stretch that we should go 7-0, and that was when we were way more hype on the team, and now we've kind of seen how they are. But we have 9 games left. Dude, I mean,
we should win this week for sure.
Yeah, and if we went 5-4 and finish 10-8, that really wouldn't be bad. But we should go 7-2 at least.
I still think the coach should be I still think we should get rid of the coaches after this year, no matter what. I mean, our record's going to be. If we get 10 wins, that's really crazy, and it's only because our schedule is so bad. We are not playing great. The offense isn't playing great, and the defense looks slow. You know what I mean?
Dude, I was looking at quarterback stats last night. Guess who's top 10 in yards?
Derek Carr, yeah.
Derek Carr, dude.
He's had before this game. He had 4 straight 300-yard games. Yeah, he's not throwing because he's terrible in the red zone.
He only has 4 picks, so I mean, it's he could have 12 picks.
It's just the offense looks slow. You know what I mean? It's just not great plays. We have good playmakers. Michael Thomas had 0 catches this game, and we won.
I don't think he got targeted until the 4th quarter this game.
Dude, on one of them I was watching a replay. He was wide open. Derek Carr doesn't know how to progress the field. Play. He doesn't know how to progress the field. He only looks at one option. So if he could just stop doing that, I mean, at this point he's 30-something. He's not going to stop doing that. Right. But we need somebody that can progress the field because we have 3 great receivers that can get open.
Drew Brees. Did you see Drew Brees did a recap with the other dude? And I know this wasn't what he said, but the comment, someone made a fake comment, and it was Drew Brees. I would have won MVP if I had these weapons or something. It's just no. Really.
Can you imagine Drew Brees with these guys, prime Drew Brees with this guys? We'd be in the Super Bowl, or just however old Derek Carr is now. That Drew Brees, we might be undefeated.
Dude, we're going through these rankings later, and in our league, Shaheed is Olave and Shaheed are 16 and 17. So I'm like, that's what Derek Carr. Like, imagine where they would be. Like, all three of those dudes would be top 20 wide receivers if Drew Brees was on the team still. And
he had Michael Thomas, Brandon Cooks, and Willie Snead was his best guy at one point.
Dude, he got Willie Snead 5 more jobs after that, just based off of playing with Drew Brees.
But yeah, let's get into some good, bad, and ugly because we're actually going to do something different on the show. We're actually just going to make that kind of quick, talk about a few guys for each category. Then we're going to go over our rankings that we had for our running backs and receivers, our top 20, and see how they stack up against what is actually going on now. But to start off, we got CJ Stroud in the good category. He beat the Falcons. Got to love that.
That's what made it so great.
Made it so good. He beat the Falcons. He beat them and he scored almost 40 points. CJ Stroud's the man. I mean, let's just be real here. CJ Stroud is the real deal. CJ Stroud is what Bryce Young was hoped to be, right? I mean, I don't know. You can't really judge Bryce Young off the Panthers O-line and, their lack of weapons and stuff, but what does CJ Stroud have? I mean, Nico Collins and Tank Dell.
Yeah, and Noah Brown apparently. Look, I think last week we had a viewer asking a question too on a tight end start, and I think me and you both agreed in the end, start
McBride. I thought we said McBride. I'm pretty sure we said McBride because I'm actually positive we said McBride because Schultz and Hunter Henry is going to do good.
Well, right, but we also said that with McBride, that was with the other quarterback who got traded away. So we were like, I think in the end I finished by being Schultz is if you wanted to go for the safe play. Because we both said they would probably get 7 points. Schultz had 30 points.
Yeah, he looked 2 touchdowns. I didn't think about that until just now. I probably gave that dude some bad advice. Hopefully you started Schultz. I mean,
yeah. Hopefully he came to what our conclusion was at the end, because you can look at 14 targets as a guy. You don't get any points for targets, so forget the 14 targets.
Right. But next we got Rachaad White, your favorite player.
Oh, I never even put up.
Yeah, I know you didn't put the Strouds up there.
I didn't put up those Stroud stats, but check that out. 470. That's the most ever by a rookie. Do you know who was third on this list, real quick?
Who?
Aaron Brooks.
Oh, really?
Yes. Saints legend Aaron Brooks, who was actually at the Bears game.
Oh, yeah, I saw him. Yeah.
That was awesome. So
with the beer man, dude.
You remember the beer?
The beer.
I actually sat next to the beer man on a plane one time. Dude, literally, he's my size. It was so crazy.
No lie. Me and my buddy Cole, we were at a game one time, and we were waiting to go up in the elevator because we had I don't know how we got the suite tickets or something like that. I'm trying to see if I can pull up the ticket. But I was I was just sitting there. Oh yeah, here it is. I was just sitting there, and I was like, is that Michael Lewis? And he was walking by. I was like, beer man, and he turned around. I was like, let's take a picture. So, yeah, that was cool.
That's so sick, dude.
Yeah, let's get on to Rachaad White. Your boy that you've been talking about since before the draft. You hated him. 20 carries, 73 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 catches,
RB1 this week.
Yards.
Yeah,
is, and he's also number 11 on the year. I told you this dude was going to get a bunch of carries. I didn't know the Bucs were going to be, kind of decent. They're not great, but I mean they're not bad. So, Rachaad White, yeah, top 11 guy. He had a great game this week. He's actually gotten a lot of touches. You know what I mean? That's strictly off of volume. He's getting a ton of carries. So,
yeah. What's up, Marlon? Good to see you, bro.
What up, dog?
Fly Eagles fly. 8-1, baby.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I think with White, it was really thinking the Bucs were just going to be so bad that he wasn't going to, and they've actually lost 5 straight or something. So
yeah, they've been pretty terrible, but their offense isn't that bad though. You know what I mean? They have weapons. Baker just needed to be good, and he's not being bad. So
yeah, and with these stats too, I mean, if he doesn't have 2 touchdowns, he definitely his 20 for 73 is 3.5 yards a carry or something. So it's not the most amazing.
That's 7. You get points for rushes. 8 points right there. I mean, that's still a 15-point game, even without the touchdown. So It's not terrible. It's what you'd want out of somebody that you probably have at running back 2 or 3. So it's not terrible. Let's get on to some bad. We got that Monday night. It was Monday Night Football, right? Justin Herbert.
Chargers. Yeah, I mean Jets. Yeah, Jets Chargers.
Justin Herbert could have solidified, just becoming elite, and he just was.
I had to put him on here because I went into Monday night like I was telling y'all, I was on a 4-game win streak, so I'm 4-4, and like everybody there's no division, so it's just like all 12 teams, and like we're all like there's like 2 dudes that are like 5-2 or whatever. Everybody else sucks, right? So I'm like down by 12. No, I'm down by 17, and I have Quentin Johnson and I have Justin Herbert, and it's like, dude, like 17, and like now the quarterback scoring in this league does really suck. I'll admit that, but I'm still
It's like 4 points a touchdown.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Why? So. Yeah, it's actually the fantasy 6-pack league. I was up by like 12 and a half, and I was playing against Keenan Allen. That's the only person I had playing against Keenan Allen, and he didn't catch that like last ball until like the halfway through the third or fourth quarter, so that really hurt. I lost as well. So I think we have the same record, 4-5.
Right.
I actually had a few guys on bye that week too, so it actually hurts too when you had a few like your stars playing, and then you have a bye week and like you have to play people you normally wouldn't, and you still only lose by like 2.
That's tough. And me and you made a trade in that league actually too, so like that was the other part of it. And the craziest part is I made that trade with you, and then I cut Geno Smith. If I would have started Geno Smith, he had like 22 points, dude. Like I should have just not even traded with you and just played Geno Smith. I just had so many. I needed a wide receiver. Like in that league, you have to start 3 wide receivers. And I was just starting 3 tight ends, and it was like really like locking up all my flex spots. So Herbert, you screwed me, bro. 16 for 30. I know you're playing the Jets. They still won, which is also
have a nice
defense.
Weird. Jets do have a nice defense. That's why just have no offense.
Like, throw a touch, dude. Just throw. All he had to do was just have a decent game, dude. 7 points, I think he ended up with, and then Quentin Johnson just done nothing all year long. Palmer's hurt, so he's the number 2. And Quentin Johnson's still doing nothing. Like, you're really killing me. I drafted
Palmer's hurt, and Mike Williams is hurt. So like,
So I have Quentin Johnson in a lot of leagues. I never was like relying on him to be even a wide receiver 3, but I really thought he could be a flex, tall guy, pretty fast. Justin Herbert's his quarterback. I was terrible. Justin Herbert, you're bad. Let's move to another guy. I think he's RB3 RB11 on the year, something like that, right? What did we say he was? RB10 maybe?
He's pretty good. Running back 10 right now. Kenneth Walker, it's just the game script was bad, right? I mean, they were getting wrecked.
Yeah, Baltimore.
And Kenneth Walker's not a pass catcher, so he really gets his work from volume and rushes. So 9 carries for 16 yards, 1 catch for 1 yard. I mean, there's better days ahead for Kenneth Walker. I mean, Seahawks are not a bad team. So just them getting wrecked like that, that's just what happened right there. I mean, that's the only way you can put it.
Right. That kind of moves us straight. We can just jump straight into the ugly too, because the next guy who was ugly,
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith, who I think I might have put in. I deleted our rankings, unfortunately, on that, and I didn't go back to the episode, but I'm pretty sure I had Geno in like my top 15, maybe like 14, 15, somewhere around there. And I think he's like 22 right now, so he's definitely having a poor year. And he's got weapons, I mean, dude, they got 3 solid wide receivers, 2 good running backs. Like, they should be doing a lot better. 13 for 28. Now, Baltimore has had the number 1 defense this year, but, I mean, 2 rushes for 4 yards. He's just not doing – I think last year he was like 70% completion too. So, 13 for 28 when you're losing the whole game. I mean, how are you only throwing the ball 28 times when you're down 30-0?
Right.
That's the part that's blowing my mind.
Like, Geno Smith's inconsistent. The Seahawks aren't a bad team, though. Like, I don't really know if Geno Smith's a long-term answer, but he definitely didn't have a great game right there. That sucks for sure. And it brings down other people. Like, Metcalf had 1 catch. I mean, I have Metcalf in a few leagues. So
Jigba had a good game, though. I think I actually probably lost in fantasy 6-pack because Njigba had like 12 points. Like, if he would have had 1 point like the other dude, I would have probably won. So it's crazy how that kind of stuff happens.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. Next up on this list, Christian Watson. Everybody had this dude, except for me and Eric. Everybody had this dude in their top 20 wide receiver rankings. Everybody thought he was going to make that leap this year. He was hurt in the beginning of the year, but I think he's had 8 targets once in a game. Jordan Love's just been tailing off, looking worse and worse. He might be next to be benched. Ritter got benched. So these are guys we didn't like. We didn't like Watson. We didn't like London, right? And there's reasons, because we don't like Ritter and we don't like Love. Now, Love had a good first couple games, but when you really start breaking down that tape, he was not really playing that well.
Yeah.
Like he beat us based on pass interference penalties, right? Like,
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you there. Christian Washington. I mean, Jordan Love is just not that great. I don't if that's what you just said. He's just not that good. Christian Washington. He also gets a lot of drops. If you ever really noticed that, he drops the ball. I don't know if he dropped the ball this game. I didn't really watch, but watching him over time, like he's actually had a lot of drops. I'm pretty sure I watched one with Rodgers. Just put it in his hand like this and just bounced right off. So he's not really a reliable option. He's not somebody that I'd be going for. I'm pretty sure Connor was trying to trade him to. He was one of those guys that Connor was trying to trade.
I want to go back and look at his ADP because I know his ADP was pretty high. Let me snag this real quick while you're talking. But receivers for the season ADP.
Yep, my buddy just texted me for a trade, so I was like.
You were distracted for a second. You're like, oh, wait.
Yeah, I'm distracted. I might actually do it. So let's see. I always like to talk trade here. So we can actually get into some of our top 20 rankings. We actually going to go over. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you who we originally said in one of our first couple episodes of who our top 20 was, and we're going to show you how they compare now. We didn't really get a lot of questions right, but I mean, also some of these names are laughable that are going to be in this top.
He was being drafted as the 24th wide receiver, Christian Watson, ahead of guys like Ayuk, Save Flowers, Pittman, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, Mike Evans. Like, think about those. I mean, those are guys that are in the top 10
right.
that he was being drafted above. Like, so yeah. Oof, that was tough. That we might have should have went through it like that in ADP version of where people were really drafted. Not even with where we ranked them, but also maybe we could talk about that next episode. So let's skip to what you're saying though. Get off of this. You doing wide receivers or running backs first?
We'll do running backs.
Okay. Running backs.
So just show who we. Do you have one that shows who we had originally picked?
Yeah, I have it 20 to 10 though, and then 9 to 1. Which one do you want first?
Do the ones we originally picked.
Right, but 20 to 10 or 9 to 1 because I can't put them all on one.
Oh, do 9 to 1.
Okay, 9 to 1.
All right.
So Rhamondre, Stevenson, and then
originally 9 to 1. We originally said it was going to be Rhamondre Stevenson at 9, Derrick Henry at 8, JT at 7, Saquon at 6, Josh Jacobs 5, Nick Chubb 4, Bijan 3, Austin Ekeler 2, CMC 1. So of those 9 picks, we only got only 2 of the guys in those top 9s are actually in the top 9. CMC at 1 and Derrick Henry at 8. We got both of those correct actually. So the whole 2 through 9 other one.
Jacobs was right too. We had Jacobs.
I'm sorry, you had 3, but we originally put Jacobs at 4. He's at 5. So that's actually not bad. That's close. But yeah, 3 out of 10, but it's just crazy, you know what I mean? Like with who we got here, Raheem Mostert is number 2, Travis Etienne's 3, Josh Jacobs 4, DeAndre Swift 5, Zach Moss 6, AK 7.
Okay, so maybe we can call Zach Moss a win too, since he plays on the team JT plays on. Like if JT would have had those carries, he'd be there. Maybe you could think of it like that.
I mean, JT's back. I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's cool.
Pacheco at 9, I think, is what's really surprising me because he hasn't even had great weeks, really. Yeah, I think he had one big week, but other than that, he's just been like solid, consistent, 12 points or something like that. So it's like that's really we got to remember that for next year. Like there's going to be consistent. I think those are some of the guys. Like a guy we thought would just be consistent weekly scorer, Saquon Barkley, had him at 6. Moss is at 6 now, and so what has Moss done? But had just consistently getting 20 carries all the weeks JT was hurt.
Right. I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted. But yeah, it's just so hard to predict these guys. Like, I think that's what we talked about a lot. Like while we were doing the rankings, it's just so hard to predict who's going to be where in the top 10. With who you with like injuries and then holdouts. JT was holding out first 4 weeks, or he was on the pup, whatever it was, and then players like Alvin Kamara who missed his first 3 games. come back and he's running back 7. You know, Derek Carr just targeted him like crazy. His career is like coming back because like he was kind of falling off a little bit the past couple of years. So I mean, these aren't too bad. It's just crazy. Like who's gonna rightfully say, hey, yeah, Raheem Mostert is gonna be the number 2 running back in fantasy football this year? You know, it's actually kind of crazy.
God, I want to go see what his ADP is right now. Let's go look at that.
Or Zach Moss. Zach Moss of all people is probably the crazier one.
Etienne drafted above him. Rashawn Johnson. Dude, this is crazy. Raheem Mostert. You want to guess what running back he was drafted as average?
I mean, probably I would say 30 something.
RB 54.
54. Love that.
54 people are drafted ahead of the guy who is now the running back 2. Now he's been hurt the past couple of weeks, right? So he's going to end up dropping.
Right.
But still, he's had some 40-point weeks. I think he had 4 touchdowns one week. I mean, this is crazy to look at. Guess who was drafted right behind him? Average.
A-Chain?
No, A-Chain was way higher. Deontay Foreman. So that's the type of year people thought Mostert was going to have. A Deontay Foreman, and right ahead of him is Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, and now he's running back too. Like he's running. I mean, Raheem Mostert's always been good. I would say, right? I mean, he's super fast.
We love him. I mean, especially like in Madden, like he's a great
super
player.
Fast. Yeah, like
is he going to be injured?
Always hurt, and like he's been kind of hurt this year too a little bit. I mean, he's always had a little bit of injury, but usually it's like a big injury, so he never really plays.
Right.
But yeah, it's just these are crazy. I mean,
he's got degenerative knees too, so I mean, he's never gonna. It's not like you're not picking this dude in Dynasty and like trying to rely on him for the next few years. Like he has like no cartilage in his knees and stuff type of deal. So,
and if you look at it, it's just like some of the guys we named. Like, okay, so let's see, Jonathan Taylor not in top 20, Saquon Barkley not in the top 20, Nick Chubb is not in the top 20. He got hurt, so that's the only one it's just he's injured. So bring up the 11 through 20.
Okay, and real quick too, while I'm bringing this up, drafted 10 spots ahead of Mostert. Drafted 10 spots ahead of Mostert, so that's RB 40. Rashad Penny doesn't even play.
Wow,
drafted 14 spots ahead of him. Both of these guys, 39 and 40, RB 39, RB 40. Tank Bigsby doesn't play. Jamal Williams, I drafted him.
He sucks. He's terrible, dude.
Trash,
he's so
dude.
bad.
We should have known too, because the Saints never are good with running backs that are like plotters.
He's just so bad. We knew it. I knew he wasn't going to be that good. He's just not. He only got those touchdowns last year because he was on the one over and over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's look. So before the season, we said Rachaad White was going to be 11. No, I'm sorry. Travis Etienne was going to be 11.
No, Tony Pollard 10. Etienne 11.
Okay, yeah, Tony Pollard 10.
Aaron Jones 12. Yeah, Joe Mixon 13. Javonte Williams 14. Alvin Kamara 15. Breece Hall 16. Najee Harris 17. James Conner 18. Miles Sanders 19. Jahmyr Gibbs 20. So we absolutely whiffed on those last couple too. Harris, Conner, Sanders, and Gibbs, terrible. Javonte Williams has been coming on.
He has. He was just.
And Aaron Jones was RB1 week 1, but he got hurt.
Week 1, huh?
I'm holding on to that, dude. Like he would have, and he's been good. He's been decent the last couple weeks.
But yeah, so what
Javonte's on the come up too.
And what they have now is Kenneth Walker's 10, Rachaad White's 11, Brian Robinson is 12, Bijan is 13, hurtful. Kyron Williams has been out for 3 weeks and he's still at 14. Breece Hall is 15. Gus Bus is 16 because they just love to give him red zone targets. I mean carries. Rhamondre Stevenson 17. Tony Pollard 18, Joe Mixon 19, James Cook 20. So yeah, we mixed completely on James Cook, on Gus Edwards, obviously, and then Kyron Williams as well. Where did he come from? And also,
and
Brian
we didn't
Robinson.
have who was the Ravens running back that would have been
J.K. Dobbins. J.K.
Okay,
Dobbins.
so
that had to be all his.
Well, but we didn't have him even in the top 20 either. So we didn't see a Ravens running back sniff in the top 20. Now that's mostly because we didn't believe J.K. Dobbins would be healthy, which he wasn't. But still, Edwards snuck in there. So basically, when Lamar Jackson's a quarterback, pick a Ravens running back. Like one of those guys is going to be good. The guy this week, Keaton Mitchell or whatever, he was RB2. And he had 29 points or something crazy. So, these have been tough. Just looking at this, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs at 20, that's tough. I think he's going to come on towards the end of the year. But with where you're drafting that guy, God, this is like the most interesting thing to look at now. the ADPs. Let's see. Damon Pierce, I mean, not even on here. Drafted at 6. He was the 16th overall running back drafted, ADP. And, I mean, he's not even in the top 30, I don't think. J.K. Dobbins was the 20th overall, according to this list. IR first week. Didn't even get a rush. Pacheco was 23, and he's a top 10 running back. Rachaad White, 25. Kamara was 27. So we were both right on Kamara. Like, we wanted to put him higher too, but we were just like, we can't put him higher because he's suspended the first.
Yeah, that's really the only reason. But hey, we should have known that our boy was going to come through. Like, we should have known.
We should have flipped him and Olave. What is wrong with us? Because I knew Olave wasn't going to be top 10.
Freaking Olave, dude. He's an idiot. Actually, he came on. I had a feeling he was going to come on. He didn't have that many yards, but he did have the touchdown. So,
dude, Brian Robinson, RB 35 ADP, and he's top 10, and he's top 12.
He's 12, yeah.
That's crazy. Tank Bigsby is only a few points behind him, and he has
Tank Bigsby.
What are his stats for the year? I mean, the dude has maybe 25 carries for the year.
Etienne's number 3. I mean, yeah, that's just fair. Nobody knew that he was going to be 3. We thought it was going to be a split. Bigsby I think he's a good running back. It's just
I really think the biggest miss on here too, and I'll say this for myself because I had him ranked pretty highly too, is Tony Pollard. I mean, I never thought he had the body for that big of a workload, but I mean, I just figured that the Cowboys want to run the ball. Like, who else they got? Like, he's gotten 25 carries once, I think. I thought he was going to have 20 carries plus every week just based on their team. Like, they have a good defense. They should run the ball a lot. Dak Prescott's just throwing the crap out of the ball. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's switch over to receivers.
All right, we'll do 10 this time, yeah.
It wasn't that bad. So we're reading. So you got the list of the people that are current. So current right there. Right now, the top 10 receivers are Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Puka, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Adam Thielen, DJ Moore, and St. Brown. We guessed Justin Jefferson won. Wrong. He got hurt, so I think that's unfair. He was 1 when he went out. Right. Jamar Chase, he was also hurt, and Joe Burrow was kind of sketchy in the first couple games. So Tyreek Hill, I mean, we put him at 3, but that's not too bad. I mean, if Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase were healthy and Burrow was balling, I think it would be still accurate.
Right.
Actually, I don't know. Tyreek Hill's is on a ridiculous pace right now. We said Stephon Diggs 4. That's not bad. We had him at 3. Devontae Adams is 5. That's one where we started missing. Devontae Adams, he just is. Him and Jimmy G are just not connecting. It's not working out. A.J. Brown, we'd had him. He's the number 2, so we had him at 6. It's not terrible. Cooper Kupp, we had 7. That's not really fair either. He got hurt. Well, he was hurt the first few games. So
yeah, well, I mean, that's like the same with Moss and JT. It's like Nakua is kind of where we knew someone on the Rams was going to have a good year, like for sure.
And then CeeDee Lamb's 8. He's at 6 right now. That's pretty good. Chris Olave's 9. That we missed there just because him and Derek Carr have just not been on the same page. We just talked about that a little bit. And then Garrett Wilson's 10. But that's also on the terms that we thought Aaron Rodgers was going to play. So Garrett Wilson has splashed. He's pretty great. He's just, Zach Wilson throwing the ball, so that's pretty tough. So yeah, go to the next one. We got 11. 10 they had St. Brown. Well, we had St. Brown at 11. So that's not too bad.
Jalen Waddle at 12.
We had Jalen Waddle at 12. That's been pretty shitty. T. Higgins 13. That's another crappy one. It starts getting pretty bad at this point. Devontae Smith, we had at 14. He's at 18. That's not too bad. Calvin Ridley, 15. He's not top 20. DK Metcalf, not top 20. DeAndre Hopkins, not top 20. Mark Cooper, not top 20. Deebo Samuel, not top 20. And DJ Moore we put him at 20, and he's actually at 9. So we messed up big time from 11 to 20 because, Michael Pittman is 11. I actually pretty sure I was saying that he was going to be good this year.
I drafted him in 3 or 4 leagues. So, I mean, I was definitely wanting him. Didn't
Jordan
put him
Addison,
on the list, though,
12. That's really the Jefferson thing that we were talking about. Like, if Jefferson's healthy the whole time, he'd be up there. Jordan Addison would not be.
I wanted to I really like looking back too. I wanted to, because I was getting Jefferson in every league, like I was telling y'all and you and the viewers. Like I really wanted to stack Addison, like, and I really thought about it, and it just was like I like talked myself out of it. But man, it just made so much, because now that Jefferson's hurt, Addison's just pulling up, like looking great. Like I always was liking Addison, so I really should have done that. But yeah, Evans 13. And he was hurt a couple weeks too, so Evans could really be higher. Adams at 14 is pretty amazing. I think he had 2 good weeks, but he's been having nothing the last few weeks. Nico Collins, that's the CJ Stroud effect.
Yeah.
Nico Collins at 15. But then this is the crazy part is Adams hasn't been great, but then Jacoby Myers is 16. That's crazy.
Yep.
McLaurin's been hurt, but you know who's the number 2 yards quarterback in the league? Sam Howell.
Damn, how
baby.
Going back to the Jacoby Myers one, he's actually doing something that he never did before. He's scoring a lot of touchdowns. That's why he's getting a lot of. And for some reason, Jimmy G really likes him over DeAndre Hopkins. For some reason, that shouldn't be a thing. But
dude, Sam just scared the piss out of me, dude. Like she poked her head in the window, but like even though I was looking at your screen, like I thought it was my screen, but I was like, wait, like I got so that was like some Halloween stuff right there. I was like, wait, what? Like.
I think she tried to go. She tried to go out the shower. Jacoby Myers 16, Terry McLaurin 17, Devontae Smith 18, Chris Olave 19, Marquise Brown surprisingly 20 with no Kyler Murray, and they're getting him back, so maybe he's going to be a good fantasy option going forward. But really, all in all, what we were trying to say here is it's hard to predict this stuff. You can watch ranking shows, you can watch everything you want before the season starts. It don't mean nothing. We only got like maybe we like to think that we're good at this, and we only got maybe 3 or 4 for each ranking for the top 20 of each one, right? So like it's just go with your gut, go with the players you like, do your own research. Don't worry about what other people think. And that's what I've been doing.
Don't look at these ADPs either. I mean, there's like we're saying with Mostert, he got pushed farther and farther down because whenever you're doing your draft, because a lot of new drafts these days go by ADP. So you're not even, when you're scrolling, you're like, Mostert, like, look where he's at. But like, look, me and Eric can both look back and attest, like, we actually do like Mostert. Like, we should have drafted him higher. It was just the injury thing. And then plus where he was placed, that was kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy of us being like, everyone else thinks he's low. So don't be afraid to break out of the box.
And don't worry about ADPs, like he's saying. Like, get your guy. If you think it's a round or 2 early and you want to get him, get him. I got Mike Evans in that Scott Fishbowl league, which I went 0-2 this week, by the way, because freaking I went played against somebody that was just going off. My team just did not. I lost Stafford. Whatever. I'm 15-3. 15-3. But anyway,
you already made the playoffs, though, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm in the playoffs. So that's. But I drafted Mike Evans like really late in that league.
Yeah, his ADP was
he's wide receiver 13. Dude. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense either why he was, because Mike Evans is over 1,000 every year. You know, I mean, he's definitely getting it this year. So that was the Baker effect. We forgot that Baker was injured and that Baker's actually decent. Like he's not a sack of garbage. Not a terrible quarterback. Yeah. I don't know why the Bucs are losing every game, but I'm not mad about it. But since we didn't get really any questions, I think it's probably because it was a later show. This one kind of went quick, but we'll be back next Tuesday or Wednesday. We're going to stagger. Just depends on work for both of us. But yeah, if you have any questions, save them for next week or tweet us. We have our Twitter names up here all the time. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Also subscribe to that Fantasy Six Pack channel. It's coming up to the time where you need to be following us, dude. It's time. Yeah. It's playoff time. You know what I mean? The questions are coming. You can ask me because I'm going to be in playoffs in all my leagues. Blake's not going to be. He's having a rough year. So if you want to ask me, do that.
Fade me, bro. Watch the show and just fade what I do. I mean, come on. Yeah. They got those guys on leagues. Just fade me.
It's like that Jake Paul's friend off that better guy. Just whatever he bets, don't bet what
just bet the opposite of that guy. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, anything else, just hit us up next week. I'm probably going to tap on out of here a little early tonight.
That's all good, man. It was good to talk to you. Who that,
baby?
Down Vikings. This is our revenge game. Yeah, it's a revenge.
I don't care if you don't got a quarterback. We're coming.
All right, tap out.
See ya.